Said I've been purging my heart, taking care for heat on my thought, going the easy way, they got way. And it's transforming my mind, got me taking heat, look like I say. Order my schedule, look like I say. You got it. Say what the fuck, what the fuck. I got me taking heat on my time, going easy way, just like I say. Yeah.
I've been sipping on this new wine, new mind, new sense. Devil calls me a nuisance. Oh, school gave me insight. Whole world left, cause they don't know how to chew right. Moses gave me the green light. Told me go teach the Israelites. Bad food I gather up and I throw it back like a food fight. I ain't animated, you ain't I, so no, I won't eat the cake. That's what I told her she done. Get behind me today. Father, don't see the realest. So we call him the truth. Hop in the booth and do what he do. I'm passing out truth. I'm spreading good news about to let loose. The young lions out the cages. Grown men turn babies. Drink living water so I can talk to a birdman. Yeah, no baby. Yeah, you can get it if you really live it. About my father's business. This is strictly business. Get with the business. So mind your business. If you offended, then repeat it. Your sevens, say it, feel, do it. Be like your father in heaven. I'm saying though.
Said I've been purging my heart, taking care for heat on my thought, going the easy way, yeah, they got way. And it's transforming my mind, got me taking heat on my time, order my schedule, look like I say. And it's transforming my mind, got me taking heat on my time, going the easy way, just like I say. Yeah. Try to think what the fuck was safe first, and it will give you how we live. Calculate them land and doing me, so you will make the light with it. This side of mine, I'ma let it shine. Tell the devil to get behind me. Away with the Dutch and the devil to teach me to color me, no can commonly. Or that a whip me, laboring in the vineyard and no longer with this me. Maturity, what we know we don't agree, but still ain't gotta be. However, I choose to believe what Christ said, that we gotta eat. Now give me the beat. I know the Lord not far away, but within me, with it, he watching me. He gon' come alive in element in the arm of the Lord. All will see in his universe when his presence made alive, just put it out. He the Alpha and Omega, smoke the wicked, Garcia Vega. The bride will hide in the earth with the Savior. Separate who play like a Savior. Let's abide in the faith. You know about you, I hate it. The voice of the devil that make see through it. Be courageous.
Welcome to the Hebrew state of being. I am your humble servant and host for tonight. I am Kyle. I see Vanessa's in the building. I got my brother Pecan, Miss Artist 28. They're all gone to bed, and my youngin' Bella Song's getting ready for school tomorrow. So we are building solo dolo, guys, but we got a serious message for tonight. You know, you can watch Fox or CNN. You can look at international. You can look at Reuters, Al Jazeera, First Post. You can look at First Post is Indian, Algiers is the Muslims, and Reuters is owned by, the same people that Rubach murdered, the Rothschilds. So when you understand those news sources and you understand the lens in which they're reporting, so let America tell it. They are upset with Trump and civil war, but they believe that China, CJ's in the building, they believe that China is failing in some form or fashion. They believe that they have the win on that. even when you were looking at the news reports and you believed that Ukraine was winning, but Russia had been winning the entire time. But for us, that's not really that caring about it. Just, there's war going on. When you listen to China, they're making money. They're ready. They don't care about the tariffs. They were prepared for this for many years. Then you listen to other ones, and they're rioting in China right now. But more importantly, they're out of power in France, Portugal, Spain, two other places. They're out of power, running out of money. What I'm saying to you is that it doesn't matter who's lying on who. All of them are having problems because you can see it. The people are rioting. The people are upset in all nations. You have the possibility right now of a black pope or a Chinese pope to replace the dead one. There's a popular video of the black guy that's the cardinal that is possibly going to be the pope, and he spoke about what you would think would be in the Old Testament against gay marriage, but more importantly, he says that, which I agreed with him, which I don't think I would agree with a Catholic priest on many things, but what he said was that America, United States, and Europe had killed the concept of God and was now going to kill, or was in the effort of killing, man and society with this blurring the line between what a man and what a woman is. So you have a lot of things going on, and you have a lot of opinions from everyone. But what I'm saying to you is simple sign that all of them are going, nation, every organization. I don't care how rich you think they are, how aloof they are from your reach. It's going down right now. And it's going down because the Most High said it would. The Most High said that these nations and all these constructs, these false gods and idols that they believe in, that he was going to destroy it. At the same time, he said there was a people that he has loved, and that he had grace and mercy and covering for them and for the ones that would follow their lead in following the Most High. It doesn't matter who you think is going to win when you see Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali going against France, and now France has no lights tonight. Doesn't matter what's going on. The Most High said that he had grace, mercy, and covering for the ones that would follow his righteous lead and do things in the right manner. The title of the lesson tonight is, so how does all of this end? How does it all end? Well, Ezekiel 20. I'm not sure we're going to get through the whole chapter tonight. We're going to start the chapter. Who knows? But we're just going to do Ezekiel 20 because in Ezekiel 20, the Most High tells us how it ends and tells us what he's going to do for us. Every Monday night is what is a Hebrew, a Shemite on Ivryt. Ivryt was the name that they called us, which meant outsiders. Shemites were the bloodline that we came from on the Jacob was Shem, right? And Hebrew is what they call us, right? There's the people that crossed over. So that's why I put those three that you can find in history, right? If you want to do some research on where we've been, where we are, because they change our names a lot. You get what I'm saying? You may have heard of that. So in this Ezekiel 20, there are, I believe, 40 some odd verses, but let's get to it. In the 7th year, on the 7th day of the 5th month, So this is a historical record of what is happening, right? Saying 7 months, on the 10th day of the 5th month, the 7th year, 10th day, 5th month, certain elders of Yasharallah came to inquire of the Most High and sat down before me. This is Ezekiel speaking. O mortal, speak to the elders of Yah and say to them, thus said the Most High. So him as a mortal man, not a priest, that the elders came and sat down to speak with Ezekiel. And the Most High is saying to Ezekiel, say this to the men that have set themselves before you, Ezekiel. He says, have you come to inquire of me as I live? I will not respond to your iniquity, declares the Most High. So understand the dynamic that's going on here. These are elders that's supposed to know the Most High, but yet they're going to inquire to Ezekiel. So the Most High is saying through Ezekiel, do you not know I still live? Like, you got to come to Ezekiel like I'm dead? Like he says, so guess what? Arraign them, O mortal man. So now the Most High is saying, bring this to court. This is all in 3 verses. He's now telling Ezekiel, arraign them. We are about to put them on trial. He says, arraign them, O mortal. Declare to them the abhorrent deeds of their fathers. Say to them, thus says the Most High, on the day that I chose Yasharallah, I gave my oath. This is important. This is our Creator giving an oath. I don't know if that should be a magnitude for you. It should be something that you feel more than what you see on TV, more than a drama. This should make you feel ingratiated. This should make you feel loving towards the Most High. It says, on that day I chose Yasharallah, I gave my oath to the stock of the house of Yaakov, to the stock, to the bloodline, when I made myself known to them in the land of Egypt. So the Most High is saying, I made myself known to the children of Jacob in the land of Egypt. So Jacob is after Abraham, right? After Isaac, right? Because he's the son of Isaac. So his name is changed to Yasharallah. Then he has children. Then we're in Egypt, right? So I gave my oath to them when I said, I, your ruler, am the Most High. The same day I swore to them to take them out of the land of Egypt into the land flowing with milk and honey, a land which I had sought out for them, the fairest of all lands. It's very important to understand why the Most High is saying that I gave and appeared to them. Because he appeared to Abraham, right? He appeared to Jacob. In Egypt, who is there? It's not Jacob, right? It is Moses. So the Most High is telling Ezekiel, to these men, that I swore to the stock of Jacob in Egypt. When I chose them and brought them out of Egypt. And it says, into the land flowing with milk and honey, a land which I had sought out for them, the fairest of all lands. I also said to them, cast away every one of you the detestable things that you are drawn to. We have been drawn to idols and prophets and seers and priests and all of these people all the way back in Egypt. And the Most High said, y'all have a tendency to be drawn to this. He said, can do not say, excuse me, that you are drawn to, and do not defile yourselves with the fetishes of Egypt. We know that this society historically will tell you that Christianity is based out of Africa and Egypt. The reason why they say that, even though the Torah has nothing to do with the people of Egypt, but an entire other people that went through Egypt. Okay? This land, this Christianity were by Romans that learned from Egypt. All the gods and the saints are the same. So Trismus Gustus is thought. There are many similarities between the African deities and the deities of Christianity. So, in understanding that the Most High says, get away from those detestable things of Egypt. Don't bring them with you. Don't let them defile you. And it says, I, the ruler, am your Shaddai, but they defiled me and refused to listen to me, even to this day. I got a really good friend of mine that I've been working through, and she's been understanding what is happening with the New Testament. And she's like, okay, I get the Old Testament. Then she sends me this video of this guy that used to be Muslim that says that Jesus came and spoke to him and asked me to respond to the video. And I haven't. That's a really good friend of mine, because I haven't calmed my spirit yet, because when I did watch it, it was straight buffoonery. Straight buffoonery. And these people are giving these false things that they say happened to them in their lives for a Muslim man that was black to be Caucasian show, and to say that even though he was a devout Muslim and that Jesus was the image that they purported, when we know that that was an image that was created by the Catholic Church. Leonardo da Vinci was commissioned by, I believe, it's Pope Sixtus, the sixth Pope, whose son was the image that they came up with, which was Caesar Borgia. So when this Muslim is saying that he is seeing Jesus, is he seeing Caesar Borgia? That's the image that he sees. Most High said, put away these things. And it says, but they defied me and refused to listen to me. They did not cast away the detestable things they were drawn to, nor did they give up the fetishes of Egypt. Then I resolved to pour out my fury upon them, to vent all my anger upon them there in the land of Egypt, bondage, Mizraim. But I acted for the sake of my name, Shaddai. When the Most High did what he did by taking us out of Egypt, everybody knows it's the Most High. So when those same people are doing the detestable things of the world, then we are defiling his name. And it says, but I acted for the sake of my name, that it might not be profaned in the sight of the nations among whom they were. For it was before their eyes that I made myself known to Yasharallah to bring them out of the land of Egypt, of Mizraim, of bondage, which we're in right now. I brought them out of the land of Egypt and led them into the wilderness. I gave them my laws and taught them my rules, by the pursuit of which a man shall live. Verse 11 of Ezekiel 20. The title of the lesson is, so how will all this end? The Most High is repetitive. Ezekiel 20 is going to show his repetitiveness in how he destroys things, how he scatters and then brings them back. So how this all going to end is that he's going to destroy these nations as you are hearing it on no matter what station you listen to, no matter what news report you hear. All nations are falling. Spain, Portugal, France. Another one is all out of power right now. Italy. That's the one. The south of Italy. Back. It's out of power. As he's taking these nations down internally through famine, through economic ruin. Egypt is not what it used to be, right? In no form of fashion. Most High says how you would live from the time of Moshe until end times is by the laws that he has given us. So no matter what era we in, no matter what time we in, what BC or AD, his laws is to sustain us and guide us through all times. So how it all ends will be if you follow what he gave you, there's going to be a way made for you. Verse 12, moreover, I gave them my Sabbaths to serve as a sign between me and them. So now we understand that the law, the fourth commandment, is the Sabbath. But the Most High is doubling down. So he's pulling the Sabbath out of the 10 commandments, of his laws, his rules. And said, the sign, the connection, the one that I'm going to know on my people, like when we put the blood on the doorpost, is going to be the ones that are following the covenant of my Sabbath. My Sabbath to serve as a sign between me and them, that they might know that it is I, the Most High, who sanctified them. But the house of Yasharallah rebelled against me in the wilderness. They did not follow my laws, and they rejected my rules, by the pursuit of which a man shall live. And they grossly discarded my Sabbaths. So the 40 years that they were wandering in, they had gotten rid of the Sabbath. He said, grossly discarded my Sabbath. Then I thought to pour out my fury upon them in the wilderness and to make an end of them on the Sabbath. He wants, because of that one particular thing. He said, because they grossly discarded the Sabbath, he was going to bring an end to them. Going to bring an entire end to them. All praises. I see in the building just like, we act like this is Chinese arithmetic to figure out how to make it through all that's about to come. You see the fall coming. You see the idiotic moves that are being made. You see the dummies that are in control. It cannot and will not continue in this manner. There's going to be a breaking point. But whether there's a breaking point or not, how do you get grace and mercy? How do you get your life to have the light shined on you by the Most High? By following his Sabbath. The fourth commandment, Friday night at sundown to Saturday sundown. He only asks for 24 hours in your 7-day week. He asks them in those 24 hours to not spend money in the world, to not spend money and cook nothing. You have enough food for the 24 hours. So you don't have to think about anything but being in meditation on his laws so that you can follow it properly in the next 6 days. This is a covenant that he says. This is how he's going to know you from the rest of the idiots. This is the wheat from the tares. And it says, they did not follow my laws and they rejected my rules, by the pursuit of which a man shall live, and they grossly discarded my Sabbaths. Then I thought to pour out my fury upon them in the wilderness and to make an end of them. But I acted for the sake of my name. So you got to realize that the Most High is never going to turn his back totally upon us for the sake of his name and the prophecies that he's given. He's bound to us as we are bound to him if we follow his law. He says, but I acted for the sake of my name, that it might not be profaned in the sight of the nations before whose eyes I had led them out. However, I swore to them in the wilderness that I would not bring them into a land flowing with milk and honey, the fairest of all lands, which I had assigned for them, for they I had assigned them, for they rejected my rules, obeyed my law, disobeyed my laws, and discarded my Sabbaths. Their hearts followed after fetishes. Come on now. Just black. This world is filled with fulfilling fetishes. That's the marketplace. How can we fulfill your lazy fetish? All the technology, you ain't got to get up and do nothing. How can I feel your fetish of money? And you got all kind of ways, illegal and legal, to rob and steal and make your money. Oh, even though that's against the commandments, it's the game. You got lust. You got so many things. And it says, but I had pity on them and did not destroy them. I did not make an end of them in the wilderness. I warned their children in the wilderness. Do not follow the practices of your fathers. So all these people that want to tell, all these parents that want to tell their children that 10 Commandments say, obey your parents. Right here, the Most High said, I told them not to obey their parents, their fathers and their mothers that couldn't let go their fetishes, couldn't let go their idols. He says, do not keep their way and Shaddai. Follow my law, be careful to observe my rules, and hallow my duty, observe them properly, that they may be a sign between me and you, that you may know that I, the Most High, am your creator. This is nowhere in the New Testament. Did the Most High change? Did he lie? The Most High does not change. He says, in fact, I don't change is why Yasharallah still is a remnant. Because I don't change. So this don't change. His laws, his Sabbaths, and you will live well. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying, okay, man, I know you're tripping on your food. I know. I just got off the phone with my son. And my son's like, I'm ready to move from this spot from his roommates, right? And he's like, but I got to work because everything's so expensive. And I heard him, I listened to him, I let him speak his whole little thing about his issue and what he think he can do, how he can make this move. I said, did you ever think about praying? He's like, I know, Dad. I'm like, no. I'm saying, like, did you ever think about that power that's in that prayer, that the Most High can move you? Are you allowing him to show himself in your life? Yeah, you got a problem. We all got problems. Yeah, you got a situation. We all got situations. But the Most High says here, if you follow my laws and you rock with my Sabbaths, man, I'm going to open up them things for you. You may go through some trials and tribulations as I move the things that you like, your fetishes. It's always rough to let the fetish go. Always rough to let the fetish go. Trust me, I'm with you on it. I feel for you. I went through mine. Still going. So it says, the Most High is saying, your fathers did not listen, right? So don't follow them, right? And it says, hallow my Sabbaths, that they may be a sign between me and you, that you may know that I am Shaddai. Verse 21. But the children rebelled against me. They did not follow my laws, and they did not faithfully observe my rules, by the pursuit of which man shall live. He's repeating this. This is how man shall live. I see a brother in the building. Computer. Tamara Baki. I see in the building. So it says, They profaned my Sabbaths. Then I resolved to pour out my fury upon them, to vent all my anger upon them in the wilderness. But I held back my hand and acted for the sake of my name. It's the third time he said, I act for the sake of my name. The third time he says, come on, continue to follow my laws, statutes, and my commandments. It's a sign between us that I might not be in the sight of the nations. So when we go up, to really think about this, in the Most High's eyes, we are profaning his name to them before the nations, before whose eyes I had led them out. However, I swore to them in the wilderness that I would not scatter them. He said, I swore to them in the wilderness that I would scatter them among the nations and disperse them through the lands, because they did not obey my rules, but rejected my laws. So why did we go in captivity? Why we spread in Brazil and the Caribbean and here in North America? Why did some scatter and run here before there was a transatlantic slave trade? Why did some of us get caught up in the caliphates? Why did some of us get caught up in the Inquisition? Why did some of us get caught up in the Reconquista? All this is part of the Most High's plan to continue to scatter us. All of these Abrahamic faiths that came together to put their stamp on this world were the places that we got scattered through their caliphates, through their Inquisition, through their Reconquistas, through the Portuguese slave trade. These are all tools that were used to disperse us. And it says, my Sabbath, and look with longing to their fetishes of their fathers. Moreover, I gave them laws that were not good and rules by which they could not live. So listen to what I'm saying when I'm going hard on the Abrahamic faith. It's written right here. He says, verse 23, moreover, I gave them laws that were not good and rules by which they could not live. What do you think those are? Well, anything of doing away with the laws is against the Most High. So any laws that are not the Most High's laws will be the ones that he gave for error. They will be the ones that our fathers follow and our fathers and mothers still want to follow now. The idols of this world, the Abrahamic faiths, all three. The Most High had none of those written here. None of those follow him. The Jewish, they are on the Talmud. They follow their rabbis. They're looking for a Messiah. The Christians claim they've created one. The Muslims say that that's one of their prophets that look like them. None of the Abrahamic faiths are following the Sabbaths of the Most High. Not one. How can I follow any one of those that does not follow his Sabbath that he is repeating? I think this is the fourth or the fifth time that he says they wouldn't follow my Sabbaths. And I was going to bring my full fury and end them because of it. You don't think it's important for us to know that? You don't think it's important for us to have a clear understanding of that since a youth, since an infant? You think I would feel bad anytime my son is here and he wants to do something other than follow the Sabbath? Or my wife or myself? Please. I found joy in the Sabbath, so I ain't even gonna put myself in that. I found joy. So was my wife. We found joy in that day. Rest and conversation and bonding. Never got that running through this world. He says here, verse 26, when they set aside every first issue of the womb I defiled them by their very gifts. Whoa. When they set aside every first issue, that means the harvest and this and that, the first of everything of the womb, I defiled them by their very gifts, that I might render them desolate, that they might know that I am the Most High. Now, Son of Man, because that's what it should say instead of old mortal, but he called him Son of Man, just like they call that person in the New Testament. And their doctrine says, speak to the house of Yasharallah and say to them, thus says the Most High, by this too your fathers affronted me and committed trespasses against me, when I brought them to the land that I had sworn to give them, and they saw any high hill or any leafy tree, they slaughtered their sacrifices there and presented their offensive offerings there. There they polluted, they produced their pleasing, excuse me, wow. It says their offensive offerings there. There they produced their pleasing odors and poured out their libations. Then I said to them, what is this shrine which you visit? There's such a shrine is called Bama to this day. Now, Bama, we know who's Bama, right? Y'all know who Bama is? That's the Hindu god. So we was in India, or what they call Hindustan at that time. We were rocking with that god. Not only did we do Baal, not only did we do Moloch, not only did we do Sargon, but we did Asherah, we did also Bama. We have no idea how much we've disrespected the Most High. We've been in everybody's religion. We've been in everybody. That's what fornication means in the scripture, of being with other people for a very long time and refuse to give it up. Verse 30 of Ezekiel 20. Now say to the house of Yasharallah, thus says the Most High, if you defile yourselves as your fathers did, and go astray as their detestable things, and if I to this very day you defile yourselves, and if to this very day you defile yourselves in the presentation of your gifts by making your children pass through the fire to all the fetishes, pass through the fire doing confirmation, sweet 16. We do a lot of things that are of this Greek and Roman and African, but Egyptian, not all African, Egyptian rituals that we put our kids through the fire, so to speak. And if to this very day you defile yourselves in the presentation of your gifts by making your children pass through the fire of all your fetishes, shall I respond to your iniquity, O house of Yasharallah. They were also sacrificing their children. As I live, declares the Most High, because Moloch, when they were following Moloch was the god that they gave their children to. I will not respond to you, and what you have in mind shall never come to pass. When you say, we will be like a nation, we will be like the nation, like the families of the lands, worshiping wood and stone. As I live, declares the Most High, I will reign over you with a strong hand, with no outreached arm. With a strong hand, with no outreached arm. Is that not what we're going through in this day and age? This oppression, because we're following these. So when I say the title of the lesson, so how does all this end? The same way he's talking about here, he's going to destroy all these nations and his children. He's going to have us in the wilderness, and we're going to yet again have an opportunity to choose him. Well, I ain't got to wait that far. I ain't got to wait that long, because I need some things right now, because he said if I follow the laws and his rules and the Sabbath, that he'll take care of me right now. So I'm not trying to wait for the wilderness. I ain't trying to be a stiff neck. So Most High says, 34. I'm sorry, I'm standing at 33. It says, I will reign over you with a strong hand and with an outreached arm and with overflowing fury. With a strong hand and an outreached arm and overflowing fury, I will bring you out from the peoples and gather you from the lands where you are scattered. So, as I started off the lesson by saying that you see it on every news station, no matter what nation you're watching, that their nation is falling or the other nation is falling. And all of them got great proof that each one of these nations are falling. That's the nations outreach heavy and with um you out from the people and from where you are scattered, and I will bring you, I will enter into judgment with you face to face. So how does all this end? These nations fall. We go into what I guess you want to call a little dark ages because we won't have technology, or we may not have this communications the way we do, or we may have localized things. Most High says, I'm going to destroy it. I'm going to have y'all in the wilderness. And I'm going to talk to you face to face again. He says, I will enter in judgment. I will enter into judgment with you face to face, as I entered into judgment with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt. So will I enter into judgment with you, declares the Most High. I will make you pass under the shepherd's staff, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. That's the Sabbath. That's what we do every week. I'm ready to be under the bond of the covenant. We are running into this bond of the covenant. Most High says he's going to judge us face to face, man. That's not written anywhere. They keep telling you that somebody's going to come out the sky. They keep telling you that 2/3 of you're going to go up. The Most High says, I'm going to do it face to face with you. I'm going to destroy these nations. I'm going to bring great fury and gather you out of them. And it says, verse 38, I will remove you from those who rebel and transgress against me. I will take them out of the countries where they sojourn, but they shall not enter the land of Yasharallah. Then you shall know that I am the Most High. So all these people that are running to Jerusalem, if you haven't gotten yourself in the covenant and got yourself, I don't know where you're running to. A lot of people want to run places. I'm just not up there. I haven't gotten that from the Most High. So the day it does, I'll let you know. But as of right now, I'm according to Ezekiel 20 of how all this is going to break down. It is all for his name's sake. These nations that are transgressing against him, he's going to destroy them. We're going to be in a wilderness-like state. He's going to bring us out those nations in his manner. And then he's going to face-to-face judge and put us back under the covenant. Verse 39, as for you, O house of Yasharallah, thus says the Most High, go, every one of you, and worship his fetishes and continue. Let's go. Verse 39, as for you, O house of Yasharallah, thus the Most High, go, every one, and worship his fetishes and continue. If you will not obey me, but do not profane my holy name anymore with your idolatrous gifts. For only on my holy mountain, on the lofty mount of Yasharallah, declares the Most High, there in the land, the entire house of Yasharallah, all of it must worship me. There I will accept them, and there I will take note of your contributions and the choicest offerings of all your sacred things. So the Most High is saying, you fools can continue to go and do so, but do not say you're doing it to me. Do not claim that you're making a sacrifice unto me. He says, verse 41, when I bring you from the people and gather you from the land in which you are scattered, I will accept you as a pleasing odor. We are the sacrifice, I tell you all the time, and I will be sanctified through you in the sight of the nations. Then, when I have brought you to the land of Yasharallah, to the country that I swore to you to give your fathers, you shall know that I am the Most High. There you will recall your ways and act and all the acts by which you defiled yourself, and you will loathe yourself for all the evils that you committed. Now, for the record, I'm not believing that the place that they're in right now is the place that the Father has for us. I believe that Armageddon is there, Megiddo, and that is the place that he's going to bring his Gog and Magog, judgment and destruction. But the place that the Most High is going to have for us, I don't believe it's going to be that place. I don't believe it's going to be that particular region. That's just me. When the Most High speaks of how he's going to do this in his holy mountain, they ain't got a whole bunch of mountains in Israel. They got a lot of tall hills. The mountains are in Africa. I'm just going to leave it there, and they're also in the Himalayas, which is right above where Brahma is being worshipped. Just gonna leave that there. We're coming to the end of this Ezekiel 20. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do the whole thing, but I'm glad the Most High brought it through. And I pray that you guys feel edified for understanding his word and how he's gonna do this. It's really not a trivia on how all this ends. It's really not confusion. It's only the confusion that's been given to you by these Abrahamic faiths and all these storylines that they have given to try and institute themselves. The Most High says for his children, and even for the mixed multitude that's going to follow, but for his children, the oppressed, the lowly, the ones of Yasharallah has been left because of this and that. No, the Most High scattered us. And everybody knows this in the world. This is not new. Other people left countries for famine, left countries because of war, left countries because they got kicked out of every country. Now, we've been slaves to damn near every nation because of our actions and wanting to follow those nations, as we are in captive right now. It's time to come back to the covenant, to his laws and his rules. And it says, verse 44, then, after we loathe ourselves for our evils, then, O house of Yasharallah, you shall know that I am the Most High when I deal with you for my name's sake, not in accordance with your evil ways and corrupt acts, declares the Most High. We must change our acts and know whom we are worshiping and whom we are giving praise to and who are we calling on. Genesis 1, chapter verse 17, chapter 2, verse 17. And he gives his name as Shaddai. I thought I had it. Done. Anyway, I don't want to hold y'all, but I thought I had the actual verse where he says Shaddai on it. Yep, it's chapter 17, verse 1. It says, when Abraham was 99 years old, the Most High appeared to Abraham and said to him, I am Shaddai. Walk in my ways, be blameless. I will establish my covenant between me and you. I will make you exceedingly numerous. Genesis chapter 17. The Most High has given us his name. The Most High know who you're worshiping, man. Know who you're praying to. All praises. Come back to the covenant, to the Sabbath. We will see you guys on Wednesday night for cultural appropriation. All praises. Don't let these people get your blood pressure up. Stay calm. Know the Most High is here. Me shalom. All praises.